Good morning.
My name is Aaron DeVincenzi. I'm from San Joaquin County Mosquito and Vector Control District. And we have a few guests with us today. In the back is Claudia Erickson and Miriam. They are from the state of California Public Health. They're going to be observing. You also heard me say we are from Mosquito and Vector Control District. Okay? Just like you go to Lodi Unified School District. We're a government agency that's paid for through some taxes and so forth. So it's free when we come out. If you have a problem around your house with mosquitoes, it's free for us to come out and help reduce those mosquitoes around your home. Okay? So keep that in mind. A lot of people don't know what the word vector is. I'm going to give you a definition of a vector. Vector number one is something that carries disease. Okay? Raise your hand if you've heard of West Nile virus before. A few of you have. Okay? West Nile virus is a relatively new disease to this area. Been in this area for about 8 years now, and it's here to stay. How about malaria? Raise your hand if you've ever heard of malaria before. Okay? Another, probably the worst disease that mosquitoes carry. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then Lyme disease. Who's heard of Lyme disease before? Okay, that's a tick disease, and we're going to talk about that. Number two, a vector is something that puts poison or venom in. So when you're stung by a wasp, a honeybee, a hornet, that poison that goes in, protected, keeping you away from their home, they're considered a vector because of that. What else can you think of that when it bites or stings puts poison or venom in? Anybody think of something else? Go ahead.
Some mosquitoes they carry the yellow disease.
Like yellow fever? Yeah, and that falls under this category, carries disease. I'm looking for something that puts venom in. Go ahead.
A snake.
Snakes, so like rattlesnakes considered vector because of that. What else?
Spiders.
Spiders, some spiders could, yeah. How about red ants? You guys ever think about red ants?
I
They have an insect. When you see something with 6 legs and 3 body parts, you're going to have a pretty good idea that that's an insect, okay? The blue part there is the head. The green part of the body is thorax. Can you say thorax?
Thorax.
The back part of the body is the abdomen. Can you say abdomen?
Abdomen.
That's a more difficult word to say. So 6 legs, 3 body parts is going to be an insect. On that mosquito, the abdomen is colored red. Why do you think it's colored red? Who wants to guess? Go ahead.
Because of the blood inside.
Because that's where the mosquito stores blood. Excellent. Okay. Name me a few other things that are 6 legs with 3 body parts. Other insects I'm looking for. Go ahead.
Spiders can have 6 legs.
But yeah, they have normally 8 though, right? So a spider would be like an arachnid. Okay. Good try though. Go ahead. Ant would be one. What else? I'll come back to you. Think about it. Go ahead.
A bee.
Bee's another one. Anybody else? There's lots of them. Go ahead.
A fly.
Fly is considered an insect.
A wasp.
A wasp?
Yeah.
Okay, and you have that, you're going to say wasp, right? Okay. So you guys have a good idea of what insects are. 6 legs, 3 body parts, and a mosquito is an insect. A mosquito has a special biting or piercing mouth part, big word you don't need to remember, but it's called a proboscis. This is multiple mouth parts that they use in order to cut and draw blood with. Okay? So it is an insect. They go through a metamorphosis. 3rd grade, you should have learned about metamorphosis, correct? Raise your hand if you ever even remember hearing that word. Okay? Most of you have. All right. Metamorphosis for a mosquito is a complete metamorphosis. They go through 4 different stages. First, it's a female mosquito that bites. One of you said that earlier before we started. Female mosquito bites. She uses your blood as food for her eggs. She lays eggs on the water in the form of an egg raft. Okay? That egg raft is about half the size of the eraser of a pencil. 150 to 300 eggs in that little raft. Okay? When you look at them on water, they look like ashes floating on the water. Okay? From there, they go to the larva stage, little breathing tube up on top, heavier on the bottom. Then think of the cocoon stage, the cocoon of a moth, the chrysalis of a butterfly, where the body's developing. For a mosquito, that's called pupa. Okay? Then that hatches off the water as an adult mosquito. So 4 stages to a complete metamorphosis. Key to this slide is what's colored in blue. What does that represent? In the back. Water. Mosquitoes need standing or still water in order to complete their life cycle. Reason being is they have to breathe at the surface. If there's movement to that water, they can't breathe, and they would drown, right? Okay, I'll get your questions in a minute. Okay? So, that's one of the points in getting rid of mosquitoes around your house. You have like a water fountain, turn it on for a couple hours a day and keep that water moving. That'll help keep the mosquitoes out of it. Okay? Now this is a mosquito head. I'm going to have to turn the lights off for this one in a minute. Okay, thank you. There's a head here, legs, top of the thorax, mouth parts. This is a little washed out. But before we do that, I brought in a mosquito model for you to look at the mosquito head. Okay? This is what a mosquito looks like if we blew it up 5,000 times and put it up underneath a microscope. Many eyes on an insect are called compound eyes. Think of yourself as having like 50 to 100 eyes on each side of your head. Okay?
We looked through one. Remember that?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so you have an idea of what it looks like. So everything that's honeycombed here represents the eyes. If I'm holding this head backwards, can you see some eyes? Can you see them back here? Okay. So this mosquito can pretty much see 360 degrees around her. Okay. Now, the antenna she uses for feeling and hearing. Remember, they're not human, so the parts work different. Okay. Little palpi, that's mainly what she's able to smell with. And then all these parts I'm holding in my hand is her proboscis. There's 7 parts of her mouth. Just like you have 2 lips that cover your teeth, she has 1. When she bites, this folds back, and there's 6 parts that go into your skin. Separate them here. These 4 that I'm holding up are called stylets. They're little scissors that make a very quick cut. All working together, she slips these 2 in. She puts saliva in your blood. Okay? She puts saliva in your blood, making your blood thin and easier for her to drink. If you ever had a milkshake that's really thick, what liquid could you add to it? Milk or water, right? So for her, she puts that saliva in, makes your blood thin, easier for her to drink. And that's what gives you that bump on your arm that itches. Raise your hand if you get a bump on your arm that itches. Okay? A lot of people are allergic to mosquito bites. Notice I didn't raise my hand. I'm not allergic to mosquito bites. Okay?
For the eggs to turn into the adult mosquito.
So to go through the full metamorphosis, okay, roughly 7 to 10 days. Some mosquitoes as short as 3 in the summertime. In the wintertime, that whole process could be a month or 2. Colder weather, it slows way down. But for your question, I would say on average about 7 days. Okay? Go ahead.
Why don't mosquitoes usually go for the head?
Why do they usually go for your head and your neck?
No, why don't they usually?
Okay, well they're pretty much going to go wherever they can get an easy area to bite. Okay, if your head and your neck are exposed, you'll find them on your arms. If they're on your hands, you have more nerves in your hands, you're more likely to feel them. Back of your neck, less likely, they're probably more successful there. Okay. Legs too. Go ahead.
How long do mosquitoes live?
How long do the mosquitoes live? In the summertime, an average mosquito will live 2 to 3 weeks. They die from the heat. In the winter time, they're going to live probably 3 to 4 months. Some of them overwinter in areas like under the eaves of your house where they can get out of the bad weather. Okay, so for those, like I say, 3 to 4 months. Go ahead.
In the video, is there really such thing as a ball of blood? Like when you got it, a ball of blood?
No. They're probably going to take a half a drop of blood out of you, enough for them to use a protein for their eggs. Okay, go ahead. Very short section on ticks. This is a cartoon. Obviously the ticks are here on the side. They are 8-legged. So what are they related to? Spiders. Okay, they're not insects. Right? This is a male tick. He has a full plate that goes over his back, similar to your fingernail material, but a little lighter. Okay? Female tick has a very small plate because her body swells many times its normal size to lay anywhere from probably 500 to 3,000 eggs. Okay? Remember what you see on the screen is relative to the screen. They're not this big. Okay? My goal in talking about ticks is what they are and where they live, what Lyme disease looks like, and what you can do to prevent ticks from getting on you, and the proper way of removing it. Okay? So, relative to the screen, okay? A normal tick without blood, how big they can swell once they've taken blood. Okay? These are not like mosquitoes. It takes up to 7 days for them to get this big. So they stay on your body for that period of time. You find ticks in grassy areas like this. They actually sit on the tip of the grass waiting for you to walk by on a trail, and they grab up against you. They have their front legs out, called questing. Right? So when you brush up against them, they grab on. They don't fly at you or jump at you or anything like that. Right? If you walk through an area like this and got ticks on you or your pet, probably not a good idea to go back in there where there's one. There's usually many more. Right? This is actually the city of Tracy out in this area. These are those hills you pass through at the windmills if you ever go to the ocean. That area actually has a Lyme disease tick in it, and that tick is all throughout the coast and into the mountains of California. Okay? Red to orange body with black legs. You'll see a better picture here in a second. Things to do to avoid ticks, okay? Long sleeves, long pants, shoes and socks. You cover up most of your skin, you've won half the battle. Stuff your pant legs into your socks and your shirt into your pants so that they can't get up on the skin of your body, okay? Wearing a hat will help protect your hair. Ticks tend to move up and go for the hairline. Warm, moist areas under your arms, lining your pants, small of your back, behind your knees. They will bite you anywhere, but they prefer those areas. Most people find them in their hair though, okay? Use repellent that contains DEET or other repellent that's proven to keep ticks off of you. I prefer the DEET product because it lasts the longest. Again, parents' permission, read the directions. Light colored clothes like my pants are much easier to see ticks on you than light dark colored clothes like my shirt. Okay? They're also less attracted to light colors. So let's see, I cover everything you see out of the grass, long sleeves, up your pant legs, or cover your pant legs. Okay? Important to walk in the middle of the trail and not brush up against the grass on the sides. Now I had an experience 2 years ago that's not on here, I'm going to have to add it in. My wife and I, and one of my sons, were in a nature reserve in Monterey. Okay? It was a state park. It was infested with ticks. Okay? There was no signs up. We walked out, we went off the trail, which we weren't supposed to do. We got ticks all over us. Okay? So we started checking ourselves. So when you're out there doing that, have someone check your front side and back side probably every 5 to 10 minutes in a really infested area. Okay? Take them off before they get to an area they like to bite. They're going to move about as fast as a ladybug moves. Okay? And they definitely were going up. I checked myself and my son, my wife, checked my back. I have one here on my shirt and I flipped it off and guess where it went? On my wife, that's right. Okay? Went right here on her shoulder and it started going up to her hair. Okay? So
when they get on you out in the field,
They're dead?
these are all dead. These are all dead. That's how big they are. So this is what you're looking for on your clothes. This is what you're looking for on your clothes when you're out there. See, they're pretty clean. They're really pretty clean.
these are all young Mark Fisher.
No, what are these guys?
Hey, Angela, do you want to zoom in up here to see things? Okay. Thank you.
You have mosquitoes and you have the larvae, okay? And there is some pupa in there. So 2 hands, pass that around. If you want to do a little experiment, who's brave? Okay? Right here. I want you to go right on the top and go real hard on the top, okay? Okay, see how the mosquitoes all get excited? Why do they do that?
Because they smell that.
They smell your breath and they know where that breath is, that there's going to be something for blood. If you keep doing it, they stop. But I mean, they're fairly smart, but that's why they're doing that. Hold on to that, pass it around, check it out. On this side, you have the fake heart and the real heartworm. You can slide that on the table. You guys over here, that's a tick completely swollen with blood. Okay, you can pick these up, they're dead, they won't hurt you. Okay, same thing here. And same thing there.